everybody. Foreclosure continues to be a reality for many homeowners in our state, and while they might think they've exhausted every avenue to hold on to their homes, they might not have heard about a state law that could very well help them. Advantage Legal Group helps homeowners through the Foreclosure Fairness Act. Attorney Jonathan Smith joins us again to explain. Welcome back. How are you?
Good morning.
We were just talking about whether we'd recovered from the Super Bowl. We're still,
Yes.
Can we just admit we're still grieving a little bit?
A little bit.
Well, let's talk about some good news, which is that there are ways that homeowners can get some help. And as we've discussed before, there is a law on the books, but since nobody has to tell you about it, we're trying to spread the word. What is it?
Correct. Yeah, there are still thousands of people struggling and praying to keep their homes. The Washington State Foreclosure Fairness Act was put into law 3 years ago, and it allows homeowners to force most lenders to come to the table with a mediator assigned by the Washington State Department of Commerce. So it's in a room, closed session with their attorneys and a mediator. So if you're not doing that, you're not in it. You cannot request it yourself. You can only do this through a housing counselor or an attorney who makes the referral to the Washington State Department of Commerce to kick this off. We found it to be a highly effective way to help people avoid foreclosure.
Right, because generally speaking, well, I shouldn't say generally speaking, but often enough homeowners say they've just been blown off up until that point. The bank doesn't have to do anything.
Almost all of our clients have tried to do this on their own, and they've spent months and months and months sending in paperwork over and over again only to be denied. And they think that's the cheaper way to go, but it really isn't, because they're jacking up the fees and the interest and the penalties, and you're going to have to pay that at some point. So it's maybe a very expensive way to continue to go to keep trying to work on this on your own.
Well, we want more people to know about this, and we also want them to know what some of the possibilities might be. We can't guarantee these, but we can look at some recent cases, and you have 5 of them, homeowners that you and your team at Advantage Legal Group have helped, and the results they've gotten. Let's go through those.
Absolutely. We always, of course, have to do a little disclaimer and say that past results are not necessarily indicative of future results, and everybody's situation is different, and their results will depend on their individual circumstances. The first one that we had was a Nation Star loan, and the original payment was $2,564.25. The original interest rate was 6.25, fixed. They were 18 months past due, and we got them into a $1,108.09 per month, fully loaded, which means property taxes, interest, and insurance, payment at a 2% interest rate. This was a $1,456.16 reduction, or 56.79%.
That is amazing. And is the 2% fixed?
Yes.
So that is a solution for them to really get caught up and to keep this home.
Correct, and it's fully amortized. So at the end, then it's
totally paid off.
Totally paid
Excellent. Okay, great example. What's number 2?
Number 2 is an SPS loan, and that was a $3,601.63 payment. The interest rate was 2.875. They were 18 months behind, and we got them a $2,904.46 payment. Given the low interest rate, I'm pretty sure this was an ARM, and it's a 2% for the first 5 years, and then it goes up to 3% for 1 year, and then 3.875 for the remaining term. But it's a fixed, fully amortized as opposed to an ARM. Got to get out of those ARMs. So the initial payment is a reduction of $697 or 19.35%, and they're very happy with that because they're out of that ARM.
Exactly, and even at the highest, that's a very
good
attractive
interest rate. It's better than market right now.
Absolutely.
Correct.
The third one is a Bank of America loan.
Bank of America is usually the one that's furthest behind. People are 3-4 years behind or longer on Bank of America. Bank of America is just very slow in moving forward with anything. They're just, in fact, most of them they've transferred to other companies. They service transferred to other servicers. But these people had a payment of $2,028. They were in a 6.75% ARM, which was high. They were 38 months past due, and we got them into a $1,197 a month payment, fixed, 2%. Reduction of $831.17 or 41%.
That is a great result. And then another Bank of America FHA loan.
Right. FHA is a little different because FHA imposes their rules. So
I'm sorry, we have a Wells Fargo FHA loan.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Wells Fargo, yes, I'm sorry, Wells Fargo FHA. The payment was $1,270. It was a 4.625 fixed. They were 23 months past due. FHA is a little more difficult to deal with. We got them down to $1,017 and a 4.25% interest rate, which is a reduction of $252 or 20%. And, you know, we got them caught up. You know, a lot of these people, what happened was they were unemployed for a period of time. You know, there's divorces, illnesses, other things, and they fell behind, and we were able to get them back on track.
Which I can only imagine the relief of doing that. Is this over the course of time, or is that in, like, you meet and you can actually hammer it out right there?
Most of the time it's a 6 to 9 month process.
Okay.
And we're usually meeting between 1 and 3 times, sometimes 4 times.
So the sooner you get to it, the faster this is over.
Correct. You know, we got to get this going and get this, you know, we know how to submit the documents too. So they don't give us quite the runaround that you might get on your own. We get a little more response. We tend to work with a little higher level of staff person on the bank side, frankly. And then, of course, we're dealing with the underwriter and the attorneys at the mediation. And we got the Washington State Department of Commerce there to oversee, to make sure that everybody is negotiating in good faith. You know, now in 2015 and actually in 14, we have Regulation X and Z, which are federal Consumer Protection Act statutes that went into effect that also assist us. So we also kind of go through Regulation X and Z issues as well that we're not going to get into today, that helps push the bank into a modified loan. So.
Well, it's the cavalry for the homeowner who really needs it.
Correct.
We had a 5th example. We're going to put that on the web, but because I want to make sure we have enough time for you to tell people how they get a hold of you and your team. Yeah,
if you're out there struggling and don't know what to do and are hoping to get a modification, they're just dragging this out forever, give us a call at 1-877-MEDIATION. That's 1-877-MEDIATION, or go online to AdvantageLegalGroup.com.
And you give a free consultation to find out if you can help us before we have to go any further.
Correct. We go through everything, give you an idea where this might come out, and what your options are, and you then decide if you want to proceed with us or stay on the path you're on.
Jonathan, thank you so much. We'll be right back. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.